Welcome to the Connectors Get Paid podcast with your host, Joe Mindak. Real conversations with real connectors, sharing stories, strategies, and relationships that turn networking into opportunity.
Hi, welcome to Connectors Get Paid podcast. I'm your host, Joe Mindak, and today I'm here with Joe Beck from M3 Linked, and excited to have you on, Joe. You and I have had some great conversations. Tell us a little bit about yourself and M3, Joe.
Absolutely. First off, thank you, Joe. I'm excited to be here as well. So M3 Linked is a nationwide entrepreneur collaboration community. We basically create events to allow entrepreneurs and business owners to connect with each other, figure out collaborations, how they can work together, monetize their businesses better, and ultimately build better relationships.
Right. And that's what we're talking about here is networking, community, power of connection. That's all we're talking about. And the whole mantra behind Connectors Get Paid. So Mark had originally introduced us. I forgot who introduced me to Mark, right? That's the power of connection. So somebody introduced me to Mark on your team, who was like the tech guy on your team. And then my persistence after going after you for months, and that's part of networking, right? You can't give up on somebody if they don't respond to you right away. I think it was a couple months before you were finally like, all right, I'm ready to meet. But sometimes you have to do that, right? And that's an important trait to have when you are networking and trying to do this. It's just to keep on somebody. And finally, you and I met, and we had that first conversation. And I think you being a community owner, seeing what we're doing with, hey, I run a community, and all our members are getting paid, and I'm getting paid, and the people sending the deals. Like, what about that whole Connectors Get Paid mantra attracted you to talk about Noladex a little more and what we're doing here?
Sure. So first off, Mark Allen Stewart introduced us, and Mark actually isn't our technical guy. He's our chief strategy officer.
Strategy, right? Yeah.
Just because, I was so busy with a lot of other development things we were doing, I kept putting off the conversation. And funny, the only thing that I regret about the entire process so far was how long it took me to wake up and get on a call with you and learn more about Noladex and what you were doing. So, like you in your community as well, we look for different ways to be able to help the community as well as how to monetize and build the business. And we had never yet even looked at the idea of monetizing referrals until we had that conversation. And, when we had that conversation, Joe, my eyes were open. They like to say I started drinking the Kool-Aid because I understood immediately what we were missing out on, and more importantly, what our membership was missing out on.
Right. And I think, look, it's a whole new way to network, right? So I think, we've been out there kind of banging the doors, like Connectors Get Paid, Connectors Get Paid. It's a different way to do it. So I've had a lot of communities that are a little hesitant because they're like, well, our community, we don't pay each other for referrals. Now you're telling me to change the way my community does things. How are we going to do that? So you were pretty open pretty quickly, like, yeah, I love this. So what do you think about your members when you told them, like, hey, we're going to start paying each other for referrals? What was the reaction there?
It was very, very positive and upbeat. Like with most, we're a larger organization, getting people to adopt it is always a progress and it's a process. But the feedback was very, very positive. And I think the reason for that, Joe, was that, when you have people that are generating referrals, there are some people that just do it generally. It's their nature. It's the way they are. And you have other people that are more thinking about what is their benefit in it. But inevitably, there's always some measure of somebody in your community that's doing it without feeling rewarded for it. And I think any community owner, if they're really honest and genuine about how they view their membership, they have to recognize that there are some people that probably aren't happy because they seem to be generating a lot of referrals, but not receiving enough back. It's hard to balance and create equity and balance in that. And I think what you've created is a way for that to happen. If you generate a referral and it results in business, there's a fee coming. And that's significant for the people that don't get that consistently.
Right. And I think the community owners are worried about the people saying, well, now, Joe, you're in my group, you have to pay if you get a deal. I think if they talk to those members, like, because we talk to our members in our community, they're happy to pay that fee. Hey, Joe, I just had a call this morning, right? I introduced somebody for a big print job, and it's a recurring revenue thing because it's a monthly magazine type of thing. He called me, thank you, and hey, make sure you put it in the system so I could pay you a referral fee because it's like I'm bringing you a deal. And a lot of people look, a lot of people in networking groups are, they're first time business owners. They've never done sales before. They don't like doing sales. They don't like doing networking. There, if you ask your members, I'm sure if you told them, hey, if all the good members, the good connectors send you guys more business, are you okay paying them? These people are like, yes, Joe, introduce me to somebody. I'm happy to pay you. I don't have to go out and sell. I don't have to go out and network. Yes. So you turn your entire community into a Salesforce of commissioned salespeople.
Mhm.
Right? These people are all
Yeah.
commissioned now. They're all getting paid to open doors. So those good connectors are like, yeah, I'll keep sending you business because I'm getting paid, Joe. I don't care. I don't care if you're not a good connector. You don't send me any more business. As long as you're paying me, I'll keep sending you. And you're doing a good job for the client. Clients are happy. And I know you could close business and do a great job. And you keep sending me a referral fee every time you do another job for them. It just keeps that faucet open, right? And it keeps that going for everybody. So I think that hesitancy of community owners are like, I don't want to ask my people to pay. I bet if you ask them all, they are more than willing to let the other people help sell for them. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think with your,
that's a great point, Joe, because, I started asking some people this question. I started saying, how would you feel about some incremental or found new business for your company? Like just out of nowhere, because most people are already used to investing their own time in developing that business or paying a salesperson to develop that business or some other source for it. Why not pay that out to somebody within your own community that is bringing you that business from nowhere? Because one of the things that people have asked me about, well, I already know this person within the community, why would I pay a referral fee? And I said, because the phone's not ringing, and ironically it wasn't ringing without this platform, this system.
right. And
And if you get that, why not pay that referral fee?
right. And once those people get that first referral fee, because you close the deal, Joe, that someone I introduced you to, I know you could close. I know you did a good job. That client's calling me saying, thanks for introducing me to Joe. They're happy. So I made a happy client and I made a couple bucks. I'm gonna look, who else can I introduce you to? Joe does a good job and he's good. I'm gonna make more money if I could keep referring Joe to other business. So I've referred some people a bunch of different deals because they did such a good job. I know they could close, I know they could get the job done, and everybody's happy. My client's happy.
Yeah.
They're calling me to say I'm happy. Yeah. So yeah, and then I think, as far as like retention, right? Running a community, right? You've been doing it for a while. Like keeping people on is tough for a lot of communities, right? We talked to a lot of
Mhm.
chambers that have retention issues and networking groups and alumni. Like, how do you retain them? Now, if those members are getting paid, right, and whatever you guys charge in your community, at the end of the year, well, I'm looking, if I want to stay in M3, I didn't get, maybe I didn't get a lot of business for myself this year, but I sent a couple referrals out and I made a few $1,000s. I'm going to think about staying a little easier because I paid my dues with a referral I sent out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're basically getting that membership for free after those referral fees are paid out, why wouldn't you want to stay in that environment? And the other thing that I think is important to recognize in community dynamics, there's always blind spots. There's always places where people don't recognize that they have a resource or somebody in their community that does certain things. And the beautiful part of a platform like this that allows visibility is it fills in some of those blind spots and it brings things top of mind for people that makes them realize, oh, I have a resource for this. I could introduce this other gentleman that I just met to this resource and I could benefit from that. And sometimes an organization isn't structured in a way where that resource is there or it's hard to find and it's a blind spot. And I
Right.
think the beauty of the platform and utilizing it this way is it closes down many of those blind spots and makes people recognize what's available and who they should be looking for when they're having new conversations.
Right, right. Now, Joe, you obviously run a community. You took over M3 in the story you told me when I first met you. But so, what was the community you were in before that? That something you liked about a community you're in that you've now taken over into M3? That you've been like, hey, this is something I loved about being in that community. I'm bringing it over to M3, and that's how we're looking to grow this thing. And the changes you might have made when you took over M3.
Sure. There's a long list of those things. There's been a lot that's changed. I think the referral dynamics are critical. I think creating a mechanism to simplify referrals and obviously and ideally monetize those referrals is key. It was probably one of the biggest shifts that we could have made. Now, we are full force in promoting that now and wanting to get all of our members on board and new people. It's automatically part of our community now. And we didn't have that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And the problem was, I can't even put a number on the number of people that we probably lost because we didn't have that in place.
Right.
And now we're on a mission to go bring them back and show it to them. But we didn't have that. So bringing that in was at the top of the list of the things that we've done since taking over M3.
That's awesome. And tell me your biggest triumph as a networker. Like, what's your biggest deal you remember, or one network or one connection you made that you're like, holy cow, I can't believe I put those two people together and this came out of it type of deal?
Great question. I think some of the biggest triumphs have been through members, as well as, some of my own personal experiences. Long before I was ever an equity stakeholder in M3 Linked, I was a member, and I was out there doing what all the members do, building relationships, having appointments, trying to generate business. And, I was given some introductions to some people that represented, top 5 brands in the world in their industry. And I never would have gotten that without that connection through that group. But I think the things I'm most proud of are the things and relationships that our members have established.
Right.
Companies signing $1 million contracts, building brand new collaborations, 2-3 senior members of our community forming their own new business right through our platform. So it's the experiences of the members of our group that we're the most proud of. And people like what we do because we focus on 2 very important things, focusing on the relationship first and not the transaction first. Because if you build the relationship, it's easier to make a referral. You're more comfortable making a referral. Because look, the fee isn't what drives it. It truly isn't, because nobody is willing to accept the fee if it's going to damage their reputation.
Exactly.
The fee is secondary. So you build a relationship. And the thing that we do that's a little unique in M3 is we exclusively deal with entrepreneurs and owners, stakeholders in businesses, people that can make decisions and create partnerships. That's a big part of what we do.
Yeah, and I think that's important for a community. And if you're out there looking to network and join a network group, find one that fits you. Find Joe's Entrepreneurs and Business Owners, right? Or I have one that's all B2B. There's ones that are just for your fraternity or sorority, different things that, people focus on, right? So find one that you could focus on that's best for your business, and ask the people that run that group, what is your main focus, right? Because I tell a lot of people, hey, we're not for you. You should go to BNI. You should go to a local chamber of commerce because you're a local business. We're not good for you. You're not going to get business from the group that we're nationwide B2B group. Go to, I had a photographer in Phoenix, actually, out by you. If you're just doing photos in Phoenix, join the local chamber or local BNI. That's where you are going to get business. So don't just join a group because someone's trying to get you to join a group. Find out what that group is about. Join that group, but then stick with it. Stop going to networking groups for 3 months and saying, I didn't get anything out of it. It's not working. It's not working because you gave it 3 months. Like anything in life, you can't give it 3 months. Nope. It's like if I dated my wife for 3 months, I was like, oh, I don't think this is going to be like, give it a little more time. She probably needed more time than I did, obviously. But what I'm saying? Like, give it some time to nourish and flourish and get these relationships going. It's going to take some time. So you can't go into something for 3 months, even 6 months. Sometimes it takes a little while. So if you're going to join a group, don't join it and think you're going to get something in 3 months. It happens. But make sure you're going into it thinking, hey, I'm gonna build a relationship with these people, and then business will come. So anyway, Joe,
one of the things that we've done that's been important to M3 is we made a shift a little over a year ago, where prior to that we were all community focused on geography.
Right.
And we made the decision that people look for communities for different reasons. Sometimes it's geography, sometimes it's industry specific, sometimes it's topic specific.
Right.
And we made the decision that we were going to open communities around all 3 categories. And that way, no matter what somebody was looking for in a community, they could find it, whether it was geography, industry, or topic.
That's
and the important piece is we've attached this referral component to all 3 levels. So no matter where somebody comes into the community, if they're looking for a sales community or a marketing community or whatever, there's always the referral component built right in.
Awesome. Well, Joe, your website is,
Yeah, our website is m3linked.com.
and they can email you at.
Absolutely. You can just email me at joe@m3linked.com.
Awesome. Joe, you and I could talk for another couple hours, but we have to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for listening to Joe and I. If you want to listen to us for a few more hours, we'll get on the phone and talk. But this was great. Thanks everyone for listening to the Connectors Get Paid podcast, and keep connecting, happy connecting, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.